Hey everyone, thanks for stopping by Salt&Light Podcast. We look forward to figuring out what we're going to say to you today, and we look forward to you listening and then commenting as well. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, but this podcast is like a high wire act in a lot of ways, and that's what makes it probably fun for people to watch because we're balancing on that high wire, we're walking, and so we're like, I couldn't.
What was the guy's name? The guy's name who would go across the Niagara Falls?
The French guy.
Long time ago. And then everybody said, yeah, you can go across. Then he went across in a wheelbarrow. And then he said, oh, yeah, you could do that with somebody. Well, who wants to get in?
Yeah.
That's what it is. Our listening audience is going to go in the wheelbarrow with us across the wire.
Are you talking about the French guy who did the...
I don't think he was. No, this was a long time ago. This was, I don't know, like early 1900s or something.
I'd say that story and analogy checks out because nobody comments. If I have to call some people out, I don't know, listening audience.
Actually,
they love us walking across the high wire.
Hold on. You just reminded me. I was going to try to remember that. We do have a comment.
Oh, we have a comment.
I take it all back.
I hope it's not a hateful
we
comment.
Have a drum roll. Yeah, this is fresh. We don't even know.
Yeah, this. I kind of remember it off the top of my head, but let me pull it up.
If it's a good comment, people will think it's a plant.
Yeah, right.
Are you saying it's not going to be a good comment?
I think I might have commented on one of the videos on YouTube a while ago.
So was it
I was like, this is the best podcast ever.
Yeah, you commented that on Spotify, I think.
Did I?
Yeah. So this was Keith, who got baptized last week with his wife, Allie.
Hey, Keith.
I think they were second service, I believe. He says, hey guys, my family's been attending East Point for about 8 months now, and we love it. We have a busy travel schedule, so it's hard to get more involved to meet people. One way to get more connected has been listening to the podcast. One thing I think would be awesome for newer people like me would be an episode where everyone introduces themselves a little more, your stories, what led you to East Point, what your role is at the church, and maybe even some behind the scenes of how you all got connected. I genuinely love to know the people behind the voices a little better. I apologize if you've done this already. I haven't found it.
Thanks, Keith.
Yeah, that's awesome. Great baptism, by the way, Keith. It's Keith, right? With TH at the end?
Yes.
Okay, good.
I kind of feel like I overshare sometimes, but that's all right. We can use some
we
more.
haven't gotten to our back
You can only talk into a microphone for so many hours and not overshare a little bit.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that someday. We'll come in with bits and pieces of our story.
Okay.
We'll interview each other.
Yeah.
Be like, Kurt.
Yeah.
How old were you when you accepted the Lord? And where were you? What did it feel like?
Yeah, no. Well, we'll have to think about that. Or we can just be sharing more and more as we go along. A little bit more of. I think people want to know what makes Jake tick, for instance.
Yeah.
How can I become like him?
Yeah.
So maybe we don't go into our whole testimony, but like, what was the first time where you felt like you really had a profound experience with Jesus's love that like really rocked you? It felt like it changed you.
When was the last time?
Ooh, when was the last time?
Yeah. More important question.
Well, this is kind of more of the origin story of the first time. Okay. Because for me, I felt like it was probably after I was baptized.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Well, so I remember reading the Gospels for the first time for myself. I read through Matthew and it really struck me. And I felt like I was very impressed by Jesus, and I felt like I was touched by the Holy Spirit. And I was like, oh, wow, these words are really jumping off the page to me and really moving me, specifically a lot of the Sermon on the Mount. But then, and I was probably 12 when that happened, and then I got baptized a little while after. But I think the first time I felt moved to tears by the fact that Jesus like died for me and took my sins on the cross was probably like when I was 16 or so. And I just had a service at Camp Sebago. And I remember walking out of a late night service and going to their outdoor chapel. It was kind of like a scene in a movie. It was like a little misty outside. And there was these spotlights, these floodlights that were shining on the cross. I remember sitting in the chapel by myself and just like weeping at the idea that like Jesus loved me so much that he would die for me and lay down his life for me. And it was like, whoa, I actually felt like an encounter with his like sacrificial agape love for me. And that really moved me.
Yeah.
And they found $20. No, just kidding.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm even hesitant. Like I'm hesitant to even like think of and pinpoint an example because I feel like I wouldn't even equate that first one. And I can think of one example. I wouldn't know that I'd equate even that first one with like that everything changed at that moment.
Right.
Because I grew up in the church, we've talked about this a lot, that it doesn't feel like a black and white, this was the start date of my relationship with Jesus. It felt like it was all familiar growing up. And so much was intellectual
And growing
understanding.
up in the church, did you always feel like God loved you? Like
yes, but I think so much of it was an intellectual understanding. Like I knew that God loved me because that was taught to me. But then I do remember I was probably about the same age as you were describing, like 14, 15. I remember like having a moment where I really felt like a presence of God. I remember almost even, this is going to sound really weird as I'm thinking back. I remember almost going home and asking my parents if it was possible to see angels. Cause I had this experience where I was at the church that I grew up and I felt, it wasn't like anything was said or preached that was like wildly different, but I remember really just like it was almost like you're in a group of people but you're totally having your own moment and experience. So I remember like listening, but I was like full on conversating with God just on my own.
we call that daydreaming. Yep.
Yeah, I was daydreaming. I mean, it was definitely daydreaming, but it was focused on God. And I remember like really feeling like he was speaking to me. And that was probably the first.
How old were you then?
Probably 14 or so, if I had to guess. But I really remember feeling like it wasn't just me sending out prayers one way. It really felt like God was impressing on me. And then I was just praying or just talking. It was not a prayer. It was talking. That was a big difference. It was like not me just like spouting off. Yeah. I felt like I was like really interacting with him. And then I remember like opening up my eyes and I kind of was like looking at the ceiling and I felt like, this is really strange. I felt like I almost could, like, I felt like something was there.
Wow.
And it's similar to like, if you wake up in your room in the negative, if you wake up in your room and you almost like, you've heard people like describe feeling like they sense a
like
presence or see something or like that you feel someone's there. I felt like that, but not in a bad way, in a good way.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I didn't really see anything. I wouldn't claim to have saw anything.
Right.
But I just felt like, man, something's in this place at the church. And it was all like good stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't even remember what I prayed or what he talked about. I just felt like, wow, God's really personal. And that's what I remember. But then, I mean, that didn't really like, nothing crazy changed.
Did your church do baptisms growing up?
Water baptisms, not.
Yeah.
I don't think we had we didn't have a baptismal at the church, so it would be like at the lake or a pool or something.
Did you get baptized at the lake or?
I got baptized. At the lake near my house.
Nice.
Was it the pool? I don't remember. But yeah, honestly, a lot of those are just like little dots on the like very up and down progression of my relationship with Jesus, and I don't think it's healthy, or I wouldn't put so much stake in any one. Yeah. They're all add up.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I got baptized in the portable coffin baptism, as I like to call it.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
We used to have back when it was at Bald Billy's warehouse, carpet warehouse.
Yeah,
on Route 1.
Was that the push cart?
wooden push
the
cart?
push cart. Yeah.
I baptized
you
Jordan.
You could plug
in
it in, and it was heated.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. I don't know who made that, but it was well designed.
I think we bought it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, you had to like sit into it, and then they would like lean you back.
Yeah. Well, did I tell you that I think I've told this story in the podcast, but like Keith said, it's been a long
not everyone
time,
knows all
I
those stories.
baptized Jordan in that at 58 City Line, and your dad was like standing next to me when I did it. because I wasn't on staff or a pastor or anything. And so he was like holding the microphone for me. And I remember not really knowing how deep it was.
Yeah.
And so Jordan was sitting, and then we asked the questions, and then it got time to do it. And so I let her fall backwards. But as I did, I looked down, and it looked like the bottom was way closer to the water surface than it was. And I thought I was going to smash her head off the seat. So I slowed down. And so her nose didn't go all the way under.
So she's not fully sanctified. Yeah.
Do you know what you just did?
Yeah.
Wow.
You're going to have a noseless spouse in eternity. She's like,
yeah.
Thanks, Jake.
Thanks a lot.
It's all your fault.
Makes a lot of sense.
Unsaved nose. Not sure if that was the case.
Is she concerned about that?
I don't think so. I don't even know if she remembers that.
Yeah.
I just remember that.
Oh, man. That's funny. Kurt, you're quiet over there. What are you thinking about today? What's on your mind? What do you want to talk about? You always have something.
I don't know. You don't want me to do this thing that you two guys
Oh,
just
I
did?
figred you'd jump in, but I wasn't sure. Sometimes you like
I didn't
to
know
talk
if
about
everybody was
something
done.
different.
Yeah. I like to.
Yeah, what was
make
Share what you're thinking.
sure. Yeah, I got born again a few times.
How many times can you be born again?
It might have been 4. I don't know. because I didn't want to go to hell. Right?
Yeah, of course.
That's why I was concerned about that.
Yeah, I'd say
So I
my
got-
first time around, it was more of a fear of hell than a love of
Got that
Jesus,
out of the way.
if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Even though I love Jesus a lot, for the record.
Do you have any more caveats you'd like to add?
I love him.
Did you love him?
So much.
How much do you love him?
I crazy love him.
1 to 10. How much do you love Jesus?
I'm at a 20.
In a percentage, yeah.
So, but other than that, other than avoiding hell throughout my whole teens and everything, I didn't really think about it much. Pretty bored of church. Look forward to getting out of it, which I did once I got out of high school. But it's interesting when we talk about experiences. And I don't know if I'd mentioned this here before, but there was one occasion. So in Minnesota, you went from elementary school into junior high. We didn't have a middle school, and so junior high was 7th, 8th, and 9th grade, and it was that night before going into junior high. So I was switching schools and everything going into 7th grade. And I ended up having insomnia, and never had that before in my life, obviously at that age. And so I got up and went into the living room, and I was just starting to get anxious. What's going on here? It's like midnight, and here I am alone. So I had this little Living New Testament, I think they had a picture of Jesus on the cover. And I would read that religiously.
Yeah.
Literally, I'd read 5 verses a night, and I wouldn't listen to myself. And during that time, when I was getting all anxious, all of a sudden, I just had this peace come over me to the point where I remember it today.
Right. Yeah.
And so it would have been 12, maybe 13 at that time. So I remember that today. So I wasn't pursuing him. I couldn't say that I loved Jesus at 20.
Yeah.
I would kind of defend my faith if someone went along with it, but I had an issue. But then as well, there was an occasion when I was in college, and I switched houses that I was living in, and it was this scuzzy house. It was in the basement, and Lisa had come to visit, and she had left. And so this was the first night I was in there, and I think I was out of sophomore year. So spring of sophomore year, and I just got this depression that came over me. It was just this heavy weight, and I didn't understand it at all. So I put on Bob Dylan's "Blood on the Tracks,"
As one does.
and "Tangled Up in Blue" was the first song on that. And for some reason, God used that, and He just gave me this peace after. So I never forget those 2 moments, and I ascribe them to Him as times when He paid attention to me when I wasn't paying attention to Him.
Yeah.
But then ultimately, it wasn't until I was about 30 that through a series of a progression, again, like you were speaking about, he had me start to read his word, and I was all in from then, and up and to the right since that time. And I can't even make a. I can't even. It wouldn't be on a graph, the contrast of my relationship with Jesus now versus even when I was 12. It would be so different.
Yeah.
And that's what's exciting about that. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's how it should be. It's something we talk about a lot, right?
So speaking of that, because I hear this all the time, and I just read it again. This one guy was trying to explain it. You hear many Christians say this, that, oh, I loved it when, I remember when I first got born again, I was so fervent and I was telling everybody, and then, it just kind of went away. And I'm thinking, no, I mean, not at all.
Yeah.
I mean, you look forward, to the whole glory to glory. I look forward to tomorrow. What new things do I get to discover?
Yeah.
Right.
And it's just contrary to that. So I say, no, you can't use that as an excuse.
Yeah.
You got to keep on with them.
Yeah, I think you got to keep throwing logs on the fire. And like any fire, if it doesn't have like a substance and you're not actually, keeping it going, then it's going to start to simmer down and it's going to go out. Mm-hmm. And so I think there's a intentionality in our relationship with God that we have to have in order to keep the fire going. But I don't think it, like to what we talk about a lot, I don't think it's like this striving effort, if not the opposite. It's this being able to rest in him and realize, oh, he wants to be with me at all times throughout the day, and his presence is available. And the moment I bring my attention and awareness to him, there he is. And he's, and then when you have that perspective and you get into the word, or you start praying from that perspective, or whatever it is that you're doing to connect with him, it's just so much better.
Like a Psalm 42 thing, as the deer pants for the water, right? Huh?
So my soul longeth for you.
Right. You want to.
Why is it when I do the Psalms, I want to do the King James?
You do a moo? Oh
no, I want to do like this. My soul longeth.
Longeth, yeah.
It just sounds more poetic.
That is. It's the only one to read, What do you think about that? King James only, yes or no?
No. Hard no. Yeah, I have my reasons for that.
Okay.
I was actually looking into that the other day of why King James only people are that way. Because you run into one here and there.
That sounded as funny.
Why are you the way that you
Why are you this? Well, I ran into one the other day, and he was like almost like
I ran into one.
He was almost like trying to make me feel like I wasn't saved or something, or like I was like he's a super Christian and I'm like kind of like a little peon over
that's
here.
So how they are, though.
And I was like, wow, that's very elitist. We're gonna get some hate. This will catch the algorithm.
Somebody I know
Out of all of our podcasts,
we have people in our church that come close to that. Yep.
Yeah. So they like the Textus Receptus. Receptus.
Yeah.
And that was passed down through a lot of church history, but now we have like there's a couple other older texts that we have. I can't remember them. Alexandrian texts that are dated further back, but a lot of them, and this is where it comes in. The conspiracies start to seep into it, and they go, those aren't as reliable. And if God wanted to use those, then he would have preserved them throughout the church, the majority of church history, and wouldn't have hidden them away for scholars nowadays to find. And so,
what's interesting about it doesn't make sense, because people will kind of say it's the oldest one, but it's not. Tyndale had one before that. Wycliffe had it going on. So I don't know why you pick that 1611 model out. It doesn't make sense. Are we kind of nerding out right now?
We're nerding out a little bit, but I think there's some people that are interested. What is that? Codex Sinaiticus, I think, is one of them.
Yeah, so it's one. What's his name? Mentions a lot.
Yeah, Westhoff. Yeah. And the Codex Vaticanus was the other one, I think, that they don't like. They feel like the Catholic Church corrupted that one, I think. But anyways, to answer your question, no. I'm actually a good old-fashioned NIV guy. And I know a lot of people hate on the NIV, but this is what I grew up reading, and I like it. That's what I memorized.
What's interesting, though, is how we're going to continue our nerd show for a minute. So I was getting into the NASB because I did NIV with a little bit of amplified mixed in. Then I went to kind of NLT. Then I went to the NASB 2020, and now I went to the 1995, which is far different. There was a big change.
He's the poster boy of why the KJV only people are the way they are. Because like, you can't just keep changing the translations, man. You gotta pick one.
The beauty of it, the beauty of many translations is that when you read it and you say, "Huh, I don't remember that,"
Right.
and it causes you to go and discover. And
Yeah.
so I'm always in my little interlinear
Yeah. Come on now.
app.
Now we're talking.
Because
Blue Letter Bible?
no. No, just a second. Because our listeners want to know
I just
this.
want to give a shout out.
We gotta keep it going.
It is
We
the
wanna know
best
this.
interlinear word
yeah.
study tool
No, I am
for
Bible
free.
Hub. Bible Hub is my guy.
Oh yeah,
for
Bible
interlinear.
Hub's good.
Blue Letter Bible. If you don't have, that, I highly recommend
I find
it.
it to be inferior.
Really?
Oh,
Well, pardon me. I actually like Logos Bible Study, and I spend $1 trillion on it.
But you know what's interesting about your NIV, which came out in '78, I believe. And
Yeah.
so I had the original one, and it's funny how they do updated versions and they change all this stuff in them. And so I have problems with that.
all this stuff.
Yeah, they
Like
change
what?
a lot of the language.
Yeah,
and
some of the
even
phraseology.
some of the words. So just last night I was reading in Psalm 91, 92. No, I think it was 91. And they in the 1995 NASB, they use the word bulwark. Thinking, I don't know what that is.
I'm not even
Yeah.
the
A
definition
shield
of
and a
bulwark.
bulwark. So I have to go look it up. And even in the interlinear, they kind of gave different versions. But ultimately, it looks like it's a wall that's around us that God protects us through. But because of that specific word, I ended up getting a better picture than the two words that it might say in the NIV, for instance.
well, I
Right.
think
But I look at all of them.
what you might be touching on is the reason God allows or has allowed multiple different translations to proliferate. Is
Well,
because
now there's thousands of translations.
Well, yeah,
everywhere,
right. And I think you do have to be careful,
Right.
if they're saying different things.
Yeah.
But I think the curiosity, if having multiple and reading multiple translations fosters a curiosity for you to get into the Word and to find out what God's trying to say through it, then that's a huge blessing.
Yeah.
Because I mean, the reality is sometimes you guys will share verses, or I'll read verses that I've read in the same translation multiple times, and he speaks something new
Yeah,
in
absolutely.
the same words. So it's like, oh well, we can't begin to assume that we have it like the way you described it yesterday when we were meeting with that person about
Who's that person?
I can't say
can't
that.
say.
Go on, say who it is.
No way. That's a HIPAA violation.
That's right. But you had said about like that this element of like, well, I have it figured out, like the puzzle's all figured out.
Oh,
that's that's the journey that we in our flesh sometimes go on, that
Right.
we would figure God out and be able to, put
Yeah.
it all in this little box.
Yeah.
And that's both boring and not
Yeah.
possible.
Well, as you say that, I was led. The Spirit led me.
Yeah, I believe that the Spirit leads you, so I'm listening.
To
I'm
the,
skeptical.
to the letters to the churches, right? Revelation 2 and 3. It was interesting. I was reading the Thyatira one, and it never really hit me before. So he goes on. He starts talking about. You gonna confirm?
You're being audited
He talks about
by the MDiv.
Where's Revelation again in the Bible?
Jesus said that he dug their deeds and their love and all this good stuff. And he says, but I have this against you. You tolerate that woman Jezebel. And what she was doing was leading people away. So she would start to lead people away from all the good stuff that was happening. And I was looking at that and I thought, wow, we really have to be careful about anything that takes us a degree or two away from the love of Jesus. Whatever we do, we institute some deal that becomes this tradition that we say this is the way we have to do it. All of those things start to lead us away. And so Jezebel in this case was kind of giving people permission. Oh, you can do all of these things. You can get into this sexual thing.
Yep.
And so in that, because they were a fervent church, she had to have convinced them some way to say, yeah, that's okay to do that. And so I started thinking about different pieces that we could crop up here that we have to be careful about speaking the truth in love and being very proactive about it and not worry about hurting somebody's feelings. We don't want to be harsh,
Right.
But we need to be faithful, because woe to us if we allow somebody else to move somebody away from the truth of what Jesus
100%.
was.
Isn't it interesting too that in these letters to the churches that Jesus is like talking to the churches as a whole, and he's like giving them a correction as a whole. And it kind of makes you realize, like, sometimes in our walk, and it's Christianity in our walk with Jesus is primarily a one-to-one thing. Like, you can't ride on the coattails of someone else into a relationship with Jesus. It has to be you and him. And that's what God wants. But there's also this corporate element to it as well, that it's like God is looking at us as a corporate body.
We're like a national
saying,
Olympic team.
Yeah.
We're individual sports, but we represent a whole nation.
Right. And like, to a degree, that makes me look differently at Jake's spiritual health or Kurt's spiritual health or whoever else in our church. And it's like, I want to have some responsibility or care about how the people around me are doing. Because like, we're not in this alone, and how we're doing affects one another in the spirit.
So I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So when you carry around your big Bible, are you more sanctified than I am?
I'm doing this, Kurt, to make you feel inferior.
It's working, man.
And this is, and I know you're wondering, so I'm going to tell you.
Yeah, okay.
This is a premium edition.
Oh, nice.
That's goat skin.
Yeah,
And this is goat leather.
skin.
Yeah. And we're probably going to get hate for that too. Someone's going to hate on that. They passed away of old age after grazing
There's goat guts out in your front yard right now.
passed away of old age, for the record. I don't know that. I can't prove that. But it's very soft. And if someone on Sunday wants to come touch it, I understand. You can't, but
You can imagine what it'd be like if you did.
You put under glass when you go home.
I put this under my pillow and I sleep on it. It's like broken in like a baseball glove. It's a beautiful thing.
You know what analogy came to mind when we were talking about that though? Like getting so, and the analogy works for a few different things, but like getting so caught up in like one little thing that's like an accessory to following Jesus. It's like if somebody like bought a membership to like say, you buy an annual membership to a theme park, and then it comes with like this like members like coffee mug or blender or something like you get this little like side prize for your membership, and then you're just like, you bought the membership for the side prize, and you're just all obsessed about like this little trivial thing that you got to go with your actual membership.
Right.
Like I think like my phone subscription comes with like Apple Music, which I love Apple Music, but I didn't buy my phone. I didn't purchase a cell phone and a plan to get Apple Music.
Yeah.
I could have done that anyway.
Yeah.
And
Or like when I get my kids a $300 dollhouse to play with, because I have 3 daughters for Christmas, and they
Right.
want to play with the box more than the dollhouse.
Exactly.
Boxes are nice. Yeah,
They're enamored by the box.
yeah, absolutely.
I'm like, hey guys,
Big old thing. You can get in it. Yeah.
my wife and I, we spent 4 hours putting that together. So with the dollhouse.
And that's
Go
what
on, Jake.
happens. No, that's what happens. And so you're like, you see Christians playing with the box.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Can you give me an example of that?
Yeah.
I think that's like
Keith and I want to know.
Yeah, I think one example would be like falling in love with the traditions of church over like experiencing Jesus, which we talk about. I mean, if like we had a common theme for this podcast, that's what we talk about all the time, is like just you get or what you would, I think what made me think of it, because I had kind of like thought about this a while back,
Right.
was when you were talking about growing up in the church. And that's kind of what happens when you feel like, the church things feel like that's what the basis of my faith is made up on.
He was a Nepo church baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think so frequently we talk to people all the time that have like a lot of years under their belt of engaging with the church. And kind of what you said too is a better example, even when you said about, to give you one more point, when you talked about people saying like, oh, when I first became a Christian, I was so on fire, and that's kind of like petered out. Well, the reason why it peters out is because you're excited about the box, and then the box gets boring.
Yeah.
But you have this amazing thing that you've actually ascribed to and have that you could be engaging all the time, but you're choosing to get enamored with a box for a couple weeks, and then it goes away.
Or like the goat skin on your Bible.
Yeah, exactly. Like any just for anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's similar to people who are really relying heavily on Sundays in their walk with Jesus for their relationship with him. They're relying on their small group, and we would not say that those are bad things. We're like, that's great. Sunday morning church service is awesome, and getting together with your small group, that's fantastic. But that's not a substitute for this living, abiding relationship with Jesus. It has to be so much more than that. But if we start to go, man, I need Sunday every day. Well, that's a mistake, because it's like you can have that closeness with Jesus every single day. And his prescription for it is to go in the secret place and spend time with him, and he'll reward you in secret when you do that. And so it's about getting in his presence constantly. And that's what's going to help you go from glory to glory and get to those next levels.
Yep.
But I think it's the moment where we start catching ourselves relying on these man-made structures, on these, church programs or services, where we start to stumble, or we start to get flat, or whatever the word is you want to use.
Epithumia. That's one of the biggest things that Tim Keller, God rest his soul, that I learned from him, that epithumia is kind of would translated lust sometimes in the Bible, but essentially as he defined it, it takes a good thing and makes it into an ultimate thing.
Yeah.
And so all of these things like you're talking about end up, so if Jesus is here, if you're watching, it elevates it up here.
Yeah.
And we do it with, there's so many levels. It could be a goatskin Bible, but it could be our children as well. We end up putting them above Jesus. But Sundays are a good example also, that there's the nourishment is found there, even though people will admit, well, no, I find it here as well. Yet they've put that ultimately, and rather than, he's right here for me all the time.
Yeah, and we live in this delusion when we don't. I think when our pride or our comfort is threatened, we live in this idea that, well, does that mean I can't love my kids, or does that mean I can't? I shouldn't. We just shouldn't have Sunday church. We just shouldn't have a goatskin, like all those things. And it's like, well,
get this out
it doesn't have to be. There's no
touch it?
that those good things can't just be good things. It's not one or the other. Like actually, the ironic piece of it is that when you have Jesus in his rightful place, and we talk about this all the time, when you have Jesus in his rightful place, all those other things, groups and Sunday worship and prayer groups and your prayer life and all those relationships, you as a parent, you as a spouse, all those things actually get way better, way sweeter, way more enjoyable. And so the backwards lie that the enemy has for us is that, oh no, you need to hyper fixate and focus on those things and push Jesus off to the side.
Right.
In that it wouldn't be taken care of if you made Jesus the ultimate thing.
I'll pull out a Tim Keller quote on that. He said,
God rest his soul.
"Seek heaven, get earth thrown in. Seek earth, get neither." Come on.
So I want
Because
to
you miss out. It's hollow.
I'm going to go to confession corner again here.
Lay it on us.
Yeah. Well, because I was just really noticing it, that I've, and you guys can pitch in if you feel like you've experienced this as well, that if I could find a thing that I want, like a watch or a knife or something on Amazon, I can spend a lot of time looking at it. And so then I have this desire, and it's fun. The whole expedition.
I would love to see your Amazon suggested items, like what it's throwing at you.
But lately, so I'm going to use this in Psalm 73. Who have I in heaven but you? There's nothing on earth I desire besides you. And it's taken a lot of years, but I'm becoming less and less enamored with stuff at all.
Yeah.
To the point where I'll try to what's it do when you do something to the well? You prime the pump. Well, I'll look it through Amazon for something,
right?
And
just to feel something.
No, I can't. I'm not stimulated by anything. I even have a couple extra bucks, and I can actually get something. It's not working,
It's like a good desensitization,
and but it's really kind of awesome when I think about it because it gives you a starker clarity when you go to Jesus. Then because. All of a sudden, all these things that were hovering up in that epithumia line, they're lowered. Yeah. And that's available for all of us. It take a number of years, but
so on that, because I have experienced that in different seasons. Would you say, because a lot of people would want that to be the end goal or on that journey of that, but have not experienced, they're like, I don't feel that way or know how I could get there. Would you say that there's a time period or a portion of it that there's almost like a season of, I described it as like a season of mourning. Like you had to almost let it die because it is fun. I'm
a little upset that I'm not getting stimulated.
Okay, perfect. That's exactly what, that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
I think that's a real life thing. And that's a real dynamic we have to navigate.
I'm glad you can do that before you're 64. That's congratulations.
Should have done a long time ago, but
it's not all woe and misery though, right?
Not woe and misery, but it's almost like allowing something in your mind to be like, this is dying.
Right.
And it's okay. But just like if you lose a loved one, it's like coming to understand why. I know.
A new pair of boots or a loved one.
Don't crucify me over that statement. But
I think your lens is changing. The way you look at the world is changing. And the closer you get to Jesus, the way you look at everything just shifts, right? And I think so when it's like, oh, this material object or shopping used to give me some dopamine, and it used to be, oh, whoa, I got this new thing, and now it's kind of like, that's not as big of a deal for me.
Yeah.
But at the same time, to what we've been talking about as far as seek heaven and get earth thrown in, the things that really as Christians we should be getting a lot of joy from become even more joyful in the world. And so it's like when we're experiencing like really good fellowship with like our brothers in Christ or whatever, it's like even better. Or when you're worshiping the Lord and you're going for a walk outside in nature and you're just like looking around and you're like, God, you created all of this. And I know exactly who to thank. And it brings me into a deeper worship to you. It's like, it's enhanced more. And so I think it's kind of, you're missing out on one thing, and it can and should be grieved, especially if it's close to your identity and you're getting really maybe something out of that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, what's on the other end of it is just so much better.
Oh, of course. No, that's undeniable. Comparable. But I'll go to my confession.
Confess.
So,
Keith,
man, I can't relate to you guys.
Keith, you're the winner.
By the way, Kurt, I'm not as spiritual as you. I still like stuff. Can I have some of yours?
Maybe.
Okay, cool. Thanks. You can drop it off in my office if you want.
So
just the cool stuff, though.
The example for me, I'd say, is like in entertainment. So like in movies is a good one, but like I'll use a very specific one. And I know we're always hesitant to like actually name drop things because we don't want to bait people to watch it. But we've talked about it before. So I was a big fan of the show Black Mirror. Jeez. I liked the writing.
Wait a second, I don't even know what that is.
Okay, it's a show. It's like a psychological.
Yeah, it's like a modern day Twilight Zone.
Okay. Yeah, but it's darker. It's very dark. Very dark
because it's prettier.
Yeah. And the writing's really good. The filming's really good. Like a lot of the boxes that for my preference are ticked, and even the very first step. Do not watch. I would just say I would recommend do not watch it. But I watched it, felt the like conviction that I shouldn't be watching it, and just powered through because I was enjoying a lot of elements of it, but I knew kind of even right away that it wasn't edifying for sure. And I watched like a bunch, a couple seasons of it or whatever, and then I really did feel the conviction like this is not okay. I shouldn't be watching this, and it's not like graphic sexual stuff or anything like that. It's just, it leaves you in a place of like, it's just dark. And so it's
not always like a nice, fun feeling.
Almost
afterwards.
never.
But sometimes it's a good lesson from it. Like some of the lessons from some of those, because I've watched as well.
Yeah.
Kind of stick with you. Like some of the.
But you weren't convicted like Jake was? Is that,
No,
no?
I wouldn't watch it the same
Okay.
now as I used to.
Yeah.
I used to like, that's kind of what I liked for entertainment. But now I'm like,
Yeah.
my palate's changed.
Yeah.
And so I think I came to a point where I felt the conviction about it, didn't want to not watch it, but I felt, and the conviction went out, and I was okay with it. I think it's better to not, but there was that, like when I call it a mourning, and it's a TV show. Did I mourn? Did I cry about it? No.
Yeah.
But like there was a part of me that was like, oh, bummer. I can't enjoy that.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, it's fine. And it's better for me to not. And am I missing out? No, but there was like, and even now I see, well, like a new season will come out and I'll be like, oh, like, no, I really shouldn't, and it's, there's like a little bit of like, quote unquote, very small font loss there. But
For me, I don't know if I'm getting closer to Jesus or I'm just getting older and more like my dad. But like, say a new season of Black Mirror came out, or there's a documentary on like Abraham Lincoln now, I would so much rather watch the docuseries on Abraham Lincoln. Like I'm weird now.
Yeah.
I'm like actively watching one on Netflix and I'm like, this is amazing. And I would never be watching this 10 years ago. I would think, wow, what a nerd and an old person, but I'm just like, I'm addicted to them.
One of my faves lately.
Sorry to make it about me. Jake.
that's okay.
One of my faves lately on YouTube is Geography by Jeff.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
What's that about?
GE. He just goes. He'll just go into all these geographical things, and like I was just watching. He was capturing about the Caspian Sea and how it's not. It's more of a lake than a sea, but it's actually salt water and the history of it. And
How did the
everything.
salt get into it?
Because at one time, millions of years ago, that was all an ocean there, and then it receded, and then that's there. And it
Interesting.
kind of gets some poured into it. But just a lot of little things like that that you, this is fascinating. I need to know this.
I love that.
Yeah.
Do you think you want to go there and visit it?
Caspian Sea wouldn't be my first place.
Where's that located?
That would be, it's actually bordered by 5 different countries now that you
Really?
ask. Yeah.
Wow.
So like,
Okay, geography, Jeff. He's getting into
which
it.
was fascinating because politically they had to figure out what are the rules of the road here because it wasn't an ocean, so you didn't have the ocean rules
Right.
that go on. So you had like Iran and Russia and I think Azerbaijan. I don't know if Georgia was in there. I can't remember them all. But
Okay.
if they had to figure out how can you go about doing things, what are the rules of the road? For
yeah,
that?
you'd have
So
to
it's
have like
fascinating.
maritime law.
Yeah.
Does anything live in it?
Yes. As a matter of, now that you mention it, yeah, that's the place where the beluga caviar is, and that was actually being decimated and overfished. So they've created these little spawning grounds in there to try and bring it back because they were almost gone.
Did you say beluga?
I think it was
caviar?
beluga caviar. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder what that is.
You should check it out.
Yeah, I will.
Man, enriching.
Come on. See, any other podcast,
That's
you'd
right,
be
you
just
don't get
getting
this.
normal. This type of information you only get on Salt&Light. Come on, guys. Hit that
right.
subscribe button. Comment below. I love this.
Yeah.
What else? What are you thinking about, Jake?
If we gathered all of our listeners in this room and we had this same discussion, I think this is actually like a really fruitful discussion to talk through about like that idea of moving in your relationship with Jesus, this progression that we get to be ever more content in, what's the word? Like, complete, like he's our completion, that journey towards that,
teeter-totter.
satisfied.
Yeah.
That's the word I was looking for. Yes, the teeter-totter.
Yeah.
And so when we're on that though, I think we kind of have like perfection in mind when we talk about that.
Yeah.
And so we talk about it like, oh, you will go from the sinner you are right now and all the fleshly loves that you have right now.
Right.
And then, oh, one day you're going to be like fully redeemed and restored in Jesus, and all you'll love is him and nothing else will even come close to it. And people who are living real life look at that description of perfection and think, oh, why do I struggle with this? Why do I have a hard time giving up these things?
Right, because it moved from relationship to achievement. All
Right.
of a sudden, yeah, and we just can't do it.
And you just don't need to worry about that. Just spend more and more time with him. And I love the way that the hymn says that the things of this world will grow strangely dim.
Right.
They don't disappear. They just slowly over time lose their luster, and they're easier to say no to because it's a replacement. It's not, you're just cutting everything out because that just doesn't work. It makes you miserable. Like instead of, you're just cutting, some things do need to be cut out like a tumor, but for the most part, you just move to glory to glory.
Yeah.
Amen.
And I feel like, should have been the end, but I feel like God kind of reveals to us like what is actually nourishing our spirit and what's not. And sometimes we can be wrong about that, even when we thought something was okay for us, or, oh, maybe this is good for me. God might reveal to us that's not actually nourishing your spirit. And, like the recovery community, they oftentimes say like, if I'm going to give up my bone, I need a steak in order to satisfy me. And like God always gives us that better replacement of himself, of a heavenly treasure, in place of the bones that we chew on in this world. And I feel like that's kind of the other side of it. And sometimes we have to have faith that steak is there when God's revealing something that is a bone, that's like, hey, you need to drop this. I want to cut this out of your life. Like recently I had my wife, block all YouTube and stuff on my phone. And I didn't, in some ways, like YouTube was actually a great way for me to watch certain Christian content and stuff like that. But it was more of a distraction than it was a blessing. And I felt like it was, for me, something I was having a hard time moderating. So I just wanted her to like get it off my phone. But I feel like the steak on the other side of that has been better than the bone I was chewing on. So.
Amen. Well, thanks for coming.
Yeah.
And
thanks for having me,
More
Kurt.
of Jesus, less of everything else.
Yeah, and come touch my Bible on
touch my Bible,
Sunday.
yeah.